Hi, I'm Erica Ramirez, founder of Illy and host of What About Your Friends, a brand new show on the Ringer Podcast Network dedicated to the many lives of friendship and how it's portrayed in pop culture. Every Wednesday on the Ringer Dish feed, I'll be talking with my best friend, Stephen Othello, and your favorites from within the Ringer and beyond about friendships on TV, in movies, pop culture, and our real lives. So join me every Wednesday on the Ringer Dish feed, where we try to answer the question TLC asked back in the day, what about your friends?
This episode is brought to you by eBay Authenticity Guarantee. eBay knows that when it comes to jewelry, authenticity is the real gem. When you see the blue check mark that says Authenticity Guarantee, it means your next piece will be carefully inspired by jewelry experts and will always be worth its weight in gold. Whether you're looking to make a statement or build the perfect everyday look, eBay is making sure you get the real deal. With eBay Authenticity Guarantee, you can trust that jaw-dropping piece will always arrive jaw-droppingly real. Ensure your next purchase is the real deal. Visit ebay.com for terms. This episode is brought to you by Reese's Peanut Butter Cups. All right, it's official. I think I've discovered the ultimate coupling of all time. Like any good relationship, they really balance each other out. One is super sweet, and the other, well, they can be a little nutty sometimes. It is, of course, Reese's Peanut Butter Cups, the perfect combination of peanut butter and chocolate. So perfect, some would call it true love. Find Reese's now at a store near you. Welcome to Bachelor Party. I'm Juliet Litman. It's Sex Week. Callie. Hello. Did it sound like Zach? Hello. He kind of does talk like that.
When I think of Zach, if I have to tell someone what he's like, oh, what is he like? Without like actually saying anything, I'm just like, he's like, oh, so funny. Bad bitch energy. Like that's the vibe I get from Zach.
One thing I wouldn't have guessed about you, Callie, before knowing you is that you do a lot of impersonations. Like you do a lot of accents and a lot of voice work. Yes.
I didn't know that about myself. Thank you. I don't know if that's I don't even know if that's a compliment.
I think it is. But every time I say to myself alone in my apartment, Lana, I think of you. Anyway, Zach had a disastrous week in Thailand. I mean, let's just get into it. We'll talk about Ariel. We'll talk about Katie. We'll talk about Gabby. But let's break down Zach's decision to tell Gabby that he needs to tell Katie that they had sex, and then to tell Katie at the beginning of their date when things are going well. There's just like so many things that don't make sense here. But my first question for you is, did Zach need to tell Katie that he had sex with Gabby?
No. I think the only person that he may have had to explain something to is the person he didn't explain anything to. You hadn't told Katie your plan to stay celibate, I guess, during this week.
His parameter. He said the word parameter so many times. I guess it's better than boundary, but parameter.
So, and Katie's response to it was very much what my whole thing was. She was like, I already knew that like there was a big possibility that you were having sex with multiple women. Like, I didn't need you to come confirm it to me. Like, I didn't need it. So now Ariel went on her date with him, didn't have sex with him. I think maybe it's kind of fucked up for you to do it after that because you said you weren't going to do it with anybody. So to then do it, I think it's kind of fucked up. Even then, I don't know if he like has to tell her, but I would have been like, it's already over. Like their date's already over. They already didn't have sex. Fine. If he wants to go back and say, hey, I want to let you know, like this didn't happen. I would not say who I had sex with, but I would say like I did like break the parameter I put up. But the Katie thing was so bizarre.
I agree. It was so bizarre. I think the only thing that I can assume is that Zach watched what Clayton did and was like, okay, I can't do that.
Oh,
like
100%. 100%.
It's like the ghost of Clayton was haunting him. And so he put up this quote parameter. And then once he broke it, he was like, fuck, I have to tell everyone. I have to do it before the bro ceremony. He was just trying to not be Clayton. But in not being Clayton, he made no sense. Clayton is very, we understand what happened. He just wanted to have sex with all of them. So he did. Fine. And then he weirdly told them, these guys feeling like I need to tell the women exactly what I'm doing just kind of like doesn't make sense. And also it indicates like an inability to understand like how they might feel or like how they might approach it. I also thought it was pretty interesting that all of the women were like more, I wouldn't say like into sex, but like kind of like understanding the role that sex plays in a relationship than these guys. And it was really, really weird. And then Zach just like everything he said didn't make any sense. Do you think that he should have told Katie at any point?
No.
See,
I don't think Katie needs to know. To her, like she said, I already like they all go into this knowing what it is. That's why the whole Susie thing was baffling because it was like, you know what you signed up for. They all know what they signed up for.
Yeah.
I don't need confirmation of who and who not you had. Like I just don't need it. I think the way Zach handled this is worse than what Clayton did.
Interesting. How come?
Because Clayton didn't have plans on telling Susie that he had sex with any of them. The only reason why it came up is because Susie straight up asked him.
Yeah.
And then I think that Clayton was kind of like, well, I told Susie about them. And like, that's not fair to them that I told Susie what happened. They should know that I disclosed this information / like after what happened with Susie, he's like, everyone needs to be on the same page here because if you guys want to leave me, then
do it now.
Like, I just need to know. Yeah. Like, I'm sure he didn't think Susie was going to leave him. So then after that, he was like, okay, I clearly need to be honest with everybody.
Right.
I don't know if you take the Susie piece out of that. I don't think Clayton says anything. So, and even more so, I think Susie leaving and reacting the way she did probably fucked up his mindset to be like, oh, should I be telling everyone this?
Right.
Is it like a make or break thing? Like, I think that completely changed his mind because clearly he hadn't said anything yet. So he wasn't planning on it with any of them. Zach went into it with this weird ass game plan, which I'm like, one of my friends was like, I wouldn't even want someone to tell me like, hey, just so you know, we're not having sex. She was like, that would make me feel like, yeah, I didn't plan on it, buddy. Like, why do you feel like you need to tell me that? You don't know if you're going to get laid tonight or not.
I know. I have a lot of feelings about that. I also, the thing is, if this was his parameter, he didn't have to like sit Jessie down about it. Like if he was just sort of like, this is what I'm doing, he could have told each woman individually, like in the suite when the cameras are gone, just being like, hey, like I really am so glad to be here with you. I want to spend time with you, but like I'm not comfortable having sex tonight. It doesn't even like, he didn't even make it about like their individual relationship by making this like parameter. He said he's trying to make it not messy, but I guess the one thing I learned from this week is that he really doesn't know who he's picking, because one thing Nick Viall always explained to me is that usually the lead tries to protect the winner if they know by only having sex with like one of them or whatever. And so he, I think, didn't know. And so like because he's of his own decision, he was trying to like avoid this mess, but it completely didn't work. And it just showed like, I really don't understand why he had to have this sit down with Jessie about it. And like Jessie looked shocked. I was like, I rewound it a couple times and I was like, is this real? Did he know this was happening? But I think that the producers probably knew what Zach was going to say, but Jessie did seem like, okay, dude, if you say so.
Well, Jessie was also like, are you sure? Like, do you understand what happens in these suites? Like, you've never spent one-on-one time with these women. Like, you're going to be tempted.
I loved it. I was like, you're going to be tempted.
But yeah. The same friend who said like she would be annoyed with Zach saying that to her also was like, when did it become a thing where we all get to know who had sex with who? Like it used to be like we don't know. Like Matt James had overnights with everyone. We didn't know until after the fact, which is what Zach could have done. He could have after the fact been like, I didn't have sex with anyone because I didn't feel comfortable and I wanted to make sure that I didn't make a mistake and like lead anybody on, whatever it is. For him to sit Jessie down and say this and say it multiple times on camera just makes me feel like you are really cognizant of what you want the viewers to think of you.
Good point. Like he's just doing it for the TV reaction and like making sure people don't dislike him.
Clearly. But then my thing was, I'm like, okay, I get it. If some guy that I was on my first overnight date with was like, hey, just so you know, we're not having sex, I'd be like, Okay, like I hadn't made my mind up, but like good to see where you are. I would definitely have that feeling, but then stick to it.
Yeah.
I also don't get, like, how did he not stick to it with one? Like, how did you stick to it with two and then you just couldn't? You couldn't resist?
We don't know what happened between, like, we don't know what the conversation was like between Zach and Katie. But I'm going to have to assume Katie was like, fuck no. I mean, maybe they both were like, we shouldn't do this. But if I'm Katie, I am definitely not having sex with Zach that night. I would just be like, are you kidding? Like,
If I'm Katie, I'm probably going home from the woods.
Yeah. I'm just like, you. Also,
I'm shocked she came back.
Me too. And she like really rallied. I had something happen because she looked so upset when she was talking to the producer. And it's like 3 hours later, you're fine.
Well, she also told Zach, like, I almost didn't come back, just so you know.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like.
I do think, though, her reasoning made sense to me. She was like, I had to take a step back and think, like, you know, relationships aren't always going to be perfect. Like, I can't expect this to be like perfect all the time, blah, 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 whatever. And at the end of the day, like, I don't think he really disrespected Katie. Like, Katie was like, I thought he was going to do it anyways. It's more so it would just be weird. Like, why? Which I think I think she like kind of got like a little bit of an ick from him telling her. I don't think I think when she stepped back and she's like, I'm not mad at him for having sex with her. I thought it could happen. Or with one of them, whoever she thought. I'm not mad at that. I just think it's fucking weird that you told me.
Yeah, he shattered the fantasy. Like, she was aware of what was happening. She's an adult. She understands what this week is. And, you know, to participate in this show, you have to be like willfully delusional, right? And so she was willing to do that. and he broke it. He like brought reality into the situation when they're supposed to be like having an amazing time. And I have to say, I think their date looked awesome. I was like really into that.
Oh, couldn't be worse.
I don't know. I liked it.
Seth watched with me.
Okay.
Just Katie's date. And he was like, there can't be a worse place to do this. Like, they're
in the rain.
He's like, yeah, they're like wet, gross, in the rain, sitting on like an uncomfortable log. They zoomed out and like Zach looked ridiculous.
With
like
his feet in the water.
Feet in the water. I think he had thong sandals on. Like,
he did.
It was just,
we call those flip-flops up in the north.
Okay, flip-flops. He had some flip-flops on. It was such a bad angle for Zach. It's the worst he's looked on the show.
Well, the flip-flops look like rainbows to me. I guess they weren't, but I was like, are those waterproof? I was like, those just look like regular flip-flops.
They look like shower shoes.
I don't know. She was clearly wearing like the waterproof Birkenstocks. I was like, okay, good. That makes sense. But I was worried about his shoe situation. I don't know. I definitely, I don't think that I'd want to have to wear my shoes the whole time, but I thought it was cool, like in the rain. I don't know. I sort of liked it.
The zoom out angle was really bad for Zach. And then they had like an awkward amount of space between each other. And then I'm just like, if I'm Katie, I'm sitting there like, you have me in this dingy ass rainforest, getting rained on a wooden swing 10 minutes into our date. And you just like fucked up my whole day.
There's no vibe killer quite like a guy you're on a date with talking about another girl. Like, even if it's like...
No. That's like lightly touching it. There's like a guy you're on a date with telling you, hey, I have to be honest with you. I said I wasn't going to have sex with anyone, but like she was just so hot. I couldn't fucking control myself. So yes, I did fuck your friend 2 days ago. Now let's continue our date and let's be happy. What did he think was going to happen? Can we get to dinner? Let's do it at the end of dinner. You should have done it at the end of dinner and been like, I totally understand you don't want to spend the night with me. I have to be transparent about this, blah, blah, blah. Again, I don't think you needed to tell her at all. But telling her 20 minutes into the date seemed insane.
Yeah, I think I would have reacted just like Katie. I would have started crying probably faster is the only thing I can say. But like through all of this, though I judge her for being into Zach, I actually really like Katie. I feel like she's just like a pretty regular, normal woman. And I'm into it. Like everything that she's done, I can kind of understand, even if I wouldn't make the exact same choices. But like, I also, I thought her style was really interesting. Like Katie just dresses like a totally regular person shopping for a vacation who like, here's my purple dress that I'm going to wear. And like, here are my favorite jean shorts. Like, I don't know. I just feel like she people say this about Kate Middleton, though it's not true, but like she's her Lady Katie. Like I get it.
Definitely not Kate Middleton. But no, I agree with you. She does seem really normal. I loved when she was like, what did you expect me to say, Zach? Cool?
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, yeah, exactly. Well, what was like?
He expected her to say thank you. Like, thank you for telling me. Like, thank you for your honesty. Yeah. He expected her to be like grateful, I think. And he also, this is all about him. This is all about his own guilt. And I think he was just like looking for her to absolve him like right away. Yeah. It's just completely about him.
Thank you so much for telling me the truth.
I get it. It's fine.
I love when he's like telling her and he like looks up and he's like, did I fuck up? And I'm like, yeah, Zach, multiple times in multiple ways. On the flip side of this.
Yes.
I would be furious if I was Gabby.
I'm off the show if I'm Gabby. I'm not accepting that rose. I'm just like, so what she said made a lot of sense. She was like really putting it lightly. She was like, I just feel kind of betrayed. If I'm Gabby, I'm like, so you've decided it's more important for you to be honest and maybe more important, or not even honest. It's more important for you to air this out and to possibly preserve your relationship with Katie than to protect how I'm feeling. And if so, if either of those are true, go fuck yourself. Like if I'm Gabby, I am out. I wanted her to reject the rose so badly. I like Gabby a lot. She seems fun and funny and obviously a fun time. And I'm pissed for her. I'm not even like upset because he sucks, but like I am pissed.
I agree with you. I also think that if this weren't on the show, judging by Gabby's reaction to everything and what she was saying in her interviews and everything, I think she was close to being like, I'm done.
Me too.
So obviously you have producers being like, it's okay, blah, blah, blah. She has a million people talking to her. This isn't a real situation. She also like had a breakdown on the beach that day. Like her emotions are really high. I'm sure, like, you know, we've talked about this, but like what they do to them to make them like kind of go a little crazy. I feel like she was like, am I crazy? Am I crazy for being this upset? Like I felt like she was trying to talk herself off the ledge. And I'm like, no, jump off the fucking ledge. You're right. Like,
you're completely right.
I think she's so insecure about her feelings because I think she feels a little crazy in general. Like not just about this, but like about a lot of things. Like her crying on the beach and she's like, it's not you, it's me. Like I'm just insecure. Da, da, da. So like she has too many things running through her mind for her to feel like, let me take a step back and see if I'm actually having valid feelings. And I'm like, your feelings are 1,000% valid. I would have been like, Zach, let me just get this straight. You tell me we are not having sex. We have sex. We decide to have sex.
Two consenting adults.
You say you don't feel bad about it. You say you don't regret your decision. I'm telling you that that's a private thing between you and I. And you've already told America, so thanks for that. But now you're telling me that you feel more, like you feel worse about you going back on something that you set than protecting me. You're scared of messing up a relationship with Katie more than you're scared of messing up the relationship with me by saying something that I'm telling you I don't want said. Like, what am I here for? And then I know it could be editing, but I also think it's weird that she said it. And there were so many clips of him just looking at Katie after the rose ceremony.
Yeah. Well, she does say, I can't remember if she said this in the preview for next week or at the end of the episode. She says like, he's not really making eye contact with me. He's really only looking at Katie. And so I think they probably intensified it through the editing, but like to prove her point, you know, like to show what she was saying, to make it clear she's not crazy.
That's what I'm saying. I'm sure editing made it worse, but they can't make him look at her. So like there was enough there for them to be like, oh, let me pull up these 10 clips in a row where he's just staring at Katie.
Yeah. And then Katie pulled something that I don't know how to feel about it, but Katie whispers to her at the end, right when he's walking Ariel out. Katie whispers to Gabby, I know you're the only one he did it with, or whatever it was. But she indicates that she knows that she indicates that she knows about him and Gabby and that she and Zach didn't have sex. And I was like, is she just trying to like get it off her chest because this is like a big thing that happened this week? Or is she trying to manipulate Gabby? And I can't rule out the manipulation. I'm sorry. I like Katie a lot, but I can't rule it out because also like if I were Katie, I would want to like get some kind of upper hand, honestly. Like it's so fucked up, but I would feel it's still a competition. And I do think there's something that's like, there's like an imbalance in of all these relationships, right? And like I can just see myself being manipulative. I'm gonna be honest. I'm being honest with you, Callie.
If you're Katie, you're thinking, Gabby must feel really good to be the only one.
Right.
Or she thinks she's the only one. So let me take her down a few pegs and let her know that he told me it was you. And like, I didn't have to do that and I still got a rose.
Right.
My point, I don't know if she was doing it to be manipulative or not. From what we've seen so far, it doesn't seem like that. Like if it was Kat instead of Catherine,
Mm-hmm.
instead of Katie, and Kat did that, I'd be like 1000%. From what we've seen, she was absolutely using that as a manipulation tactic. From what we've seen from Katie, we haven't seen that. Regardless, whether she was purposely being manipulative or getting it off her chest, it still is manipulative, whether she meant it. Like whether her intention was there or not, there's not really a good reason to say that.
No. And what she said, I just went back and looked. What she says exactly says, I know you were the only one. And then immediately Gabby's body language and her gaze like shift. Like she's like facing Katie and then she moves away and then she says, I feel like I'm wearing an A on my chest. And I like really feel for her. I really, really do. Zach screwed her over and she seems like a really like a nice person who is like into this experience and already struggling with how hard it is. So I don't know. Like, I cannot believe she stayed, honestly. I feel like maybe she's just still like processing it in real time. I mean, I think I would have a hard time too. I don't know. I really, really feel for her. It fucking sucks.
Do you think he picks, who do you think he picks?
I think he absolutely picks Katie. I don't think there's a way to repair this with Gabby, first of all. And second of all, if he wasn't so worried about Katie, he wouldn't have felt he needed to say anything. Like he didn't go back and tell Ariel as far as we know. And she didn't indicate.
By the way, what?
I know. It's like, doesn't make any sense.
I kept like looking at the time being like, is there still enough time for him to go back and tell her? Because like we were getting near the end of the episode and I'm like, is he not going to tell Ariel? That's the only person that I think he could have told where I would have been like, I get it, kind of.
Yeah. But even that, it's just like, wait till your next
Katie
date.
did not need to know.
Yeah, she didn't at all. It made no sense. And the other thing, I texted this to you. When he shows up at Gabby's room, first of all, I want to clear one thing up. He says last night. He keeps saying last night. It was not last night. Like it wasn't like 5 hours ago. It was a day has elapsed. They were just saying that for editing. I'm pretty certain. Number one. Number two, when he shows up at the door and she's like, aren't you supposed to be on a date? She's saying that because she thinks that he's not going on the date because like he's picked her. I'm positive that's what she expected because like she was so surprised. Also, why else would there be? Why else would Zach be there? Like, why would she think that he was coming to let her know that he needs to air out what they did in the fantasy suite?
I mean, I am positive at the very least. She didn't think that's what he was coming to say.
I know.
Usually when something like that happens, it's either something really good or really bad.
Yeah.
So in her head, him knocking on the door, she's trying to be positive. They had sex last night / a day ago, whatever. You're probably like leaning more positive.
Yeah. And you're also hoping positive, right? Analyzing everything. Right. Just like, hope it was a good night.
The date ended well. So you're definitely leaning more positive. So you're probably thinking he's coming to tell me he's chosen me.
Right.
There might be a little percentage of you is like, he's breaking up with me. What you're not thinking is that he's coming to tell you like, hey, I got to tell everyone we had sex. That's what you're not thinking.
It's such an absurd thing to do.
It is next level.
Yeah. And even if he's like, even if he did have to tell Katie, the way that he went about this, making it like such like a big deal and talking about it so much is just like very unchill. Like, I know that's like an understatement, but it's true. It is very unchill.
Also, two things. Before the episode, if I had to rank who he had sex with, to who he didn't have sex with, Gabby was third, last on my list.
Ariel's one, right?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
Ariel was one. Katie was two because I was like, he's picking her. So like, who cares if he has sex with her? Gabby, I was like, he really likes her. He's not going to pick her. He wouldn't do that. Nope. I was wrong.
I think he's just
Gabby was one.
really confused.
Two, speaking of unchill, Seth like put his hands over his eye. Like he's like, I can't even. Like he was cringing so hard. He was just like, this is so uncomfortable to watch. When he was telling Katie on the bench in the middle of the forest while lightly being rained on with his feet in the water, in his thong sandals in the water, he was so awkward. And Katie's like, what? And he's like, you're looking down like I'm going to say something bad. It's like, you are like, just, he was so awkward and uncomfortable. And I also was thinking to myself, I'm like, this is why he avoids these situations, because he can't handle it at all.
Yeah. It's interesting. He actually did a good job comforting Gabby on the beach. And by good job, I mean he did it at all, since he usually doesn't. But I was just like, he doesn't really know what to do here. Like he feels like he's done something wrong. I think he just feels guilty for having sex. Like I think he refers to his Catholic guilt later on when he's like laughing it off with Katie. And I think that's like actually very, very real. And I think that he feels like he has like sinned. He went to Catholic high school and I think he like grew up Catholic. So I'm not Catholic. I don't want to overgeneralize, but he calls it his Catholic guilt. And I just think there is like so much going on in his head about like how it's like wrong to have sex like this or whatever. Plus he's like keeps referring to Sean Lowe, who I think also was like encouraging him to not have, he didn't say this explicitly, but he said based on his conversation with Sean, this is what he's decided to do. So I wonder if he's just like getting a lot of reinforcement that like he shouldn't have sex or something.
Question. Was Sean a virgin?
He was a born again virgin. He was not, but then he was like, I'm a virgin. I mean, which like, what does that even mean? Like, you're just like not going to have sex again until you get married, I guess.
Yeah, that's what it means. Okay. So also when he said that, I was thinking in my head, I was like, wait, wasn't Sean a virgin? I remember thinking that. And of course I was too lazy to Google it, but I was thinking like, you're taking advice from someone whose lifestyle is just not yours. So that's weird. Two, from what we see of Sean, I can't imagine Sean being like, you shouldn't have sex. I can imagine him being like, if you're not sure, it's a lot less messy. Like,
yeah,
if you don't know who you're going to pick, just don't have sex at all.
And I think that's what happened.
And I'm fine with that advice.
That's good advice. Yeah. It's protecting people's feelings. And that's the point that Nick always makes. Like, if you don't know or you do know, just do the thing to protect how everyone's feeling. But Zach just having to like announce it kind of like fucked the whole thing up.
Honestly, I feel like if you don't know, test drive all three cars.
But yeah, sleep with all of them. Yeah.
Or don't with all of them. Like either all in or all out.
Right. I agree with that. And I think that's sort of the point. This episode is brought to you by Visible. Maybe you've already let your New Year's resolution slip. We all have, but you can still make a 2 year's resolution with Visible. Right now, you can get a one-line wireless plan from Visible for just $20 per month for 24 months. 24 months is basically 4 Bachelor seasons. That could be 4 engagements, 4 broken engagements. So many other couples we didn't see coming. It's really an eternity in Bachelor Nation. And that's unlimited 5G data powered by Verizon with no annual contracts. Switch now at Visible.com and use the code VISIBLE24. Don't miss out. Offer ends January 31st. New members only. Promotional rate with service on the Visible plan. For additional terms and network management practices, see Visible.com. This episode is brought to you by eBay Authenticity Guarantee. eBay knows that when it comes to jewelry, authenticity is the real gem. When you see the blue check mark that says Authenticity Guarantee, it means your next piece will be carefully inspired by jewelry experts and will always be worth its weight in gold. Whether you're looking to make a statement or build the perfect everyday look, eBay is making sure you get the real deal. With eBay Authenticity Guarantee, you can trust that jaw-dropping piece will always arrive jaw-droppingly real. Ensure your next purchase is the real deal. Visit ebay.com for terms.
Wait.
Yes?
We missed the biggest thing. The biggest mistake Zach made to me that made me be like, honestly, fuck you. Like, I've liked Zach. This scene completely, like, I'm done with Zach.
Wow.
And I hope Gabby is done. Don't come back to my room. Make me think you're choosing me. Instead, tell me you're telling everyone else that we had sex. Tell me that my feelings kind of just don't matter in this. And this is what you have to do to make yourself feel better and to protect your relationship with someone else. Then see that I'm uncomfortable with it. Hear me tell you over and over again that, like, in the nicest way possible, by the way, Gabby was trying to be as nice and as gentle as possible, but you could see in her face how uncomfortable she was with it all. Tell me you're falling in love with me to try to make me feel better.
I know. That's so manipulative. It's a great point. It's so fucked up. It's like, if you're falling in love with me, then don't fucking say anything.
Are you kidding me? Like, you waited till after you said all of this and to see how uncomfortable I am. So now you're trying to, like, patch it up by saying that?
Right. And, like, how about saying it in private?
I'd be like, save it. It's like, fuck you. And, like, goodbye. Like, him saying that to me, I was just like, for someone who, like, really cares about love, and I'm only going to say love, to say that after you basically, like, completely let her down, or just have no regard for her feelings in this at all. You care more about, like, protecting yourself, your image, and your relationship with Katie, to just, like, tie it up in a bow and be like, but I am falling in love with you. Like, I just thought that was so fucked. I would rather have not heard it.
It also goes back to your point before of, like, everything he's doing is for how he's going to be perceived on TV. Like, if you really felt that way, say it to me in private. Like, don't save it for this moment where, like, you're doing image management, like crisis PR. It's really fucked up.
Don't save it for this moment. Like, now I'm like, you don't even need it. You're saying it to make me feel better because you see that I'm upset right now. Like, don't use that to, like, manipulate me into being like, oh, it ended great. No, it didn't. No, it didn't. Everything about that conversation was fucked.
Yeah. This has changed how I see Zach. Also talking to you about it has changed it. Like, I now realize he's, like, polite, but really selfish. And, like, his politeness kind of, like, covers how selfish he is, because he, like, says the right things and he has good manners. But everything he's doing is about him and, like, not at all about, like, the relationship or the women. Yeah, at all. And, like, even the relationship with Ariel, I mean, the conversation with Ariel, like, he wasn't really, like, giving her very much. I feel like she was trying very hard to be like, this is who I am, and, like, to be fun and stuff. And she was like, she was funny to me on their date. I mean, like, it's so irrelevant now that we've seen everything else, but it was a good date. But the way she was, like, trying to be so into the market, she was like, did it just, like, explode in your mouth? Like, she was just trying very hard. And I respect it, but I was just like, God, this is kind of awkward. I will say, I fucking loved her dress at the end. That pink one I thought looked really good.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, she looks good walking through the monkeys. Poor Ariel. She was like, we didn't even need her in the episode.
No, there was, like, no point to her being there. Like, it's totally a waste. I wonder what it's going to be like for her to watch us back. I'm actually I hope she'll be at the reunion next week, or after the final rose, whatever.
I texted you because she has been such a mystery to me. And then I saw her Instagram, and no longer a mystery.
She's still confusing to me, and I'd like to know what that means to you. However, I will say I'm looking at her Who Wore It Better, me or Farmer Will post, and she's on the Farmer Will train.
Yeah, I know. I saw that, it was actually shocking to me that she watches Love Island.
Me too. So what does that mean to you, though? What was unlocked by looking at her Instagram?
Because she came across, like, on the show, like, super smart, super quiet, kind of, like, kept to herself.
I don't think she seemed quiet, but I think she seemed, like, mature.
Maybe, yeah. Just not, like, life of the party at all.
Yeah.
On the show. After looking at her Instagram, I'm like, oh, she is, or has been most of her life, a very cool girl. She did not give me cool girl at all on the show. She's, like, cool, popular, rich, Jewish girl from private school.
Yes, I agree. I would say I think she's very New York. New, and not in a way that I am. Not to, like, I'm like that, but I'm familiar with this type of private school girl.
She's, like, Gossip Girl adjacent.
Yeah, I think that's right. Yes. And also, like, the partying in Miami when you live in New York. Apparently your family also lives in Miami, but that's, like, a really, like, that's sort of like a thing of, like,
rite of passage.
Yeah. It's just, like, it's, like, something people do. Plus, like, the Vegas pictures.
People do it not even outside of, like, it never ends. Like, if you grew up in New York and you live in New York, like, all my New York friends, Miami's like where you go.
Yeah. I just want to know, I don't want anyone to think that I'm comparing myself to her. I haven't been to Miami since I was 19. So it's been a long time.
Well, I love Miami, but
I like swimming there.
Yeah, no, I just didn't get like popular girl. And she absolutely is like cool popular girl.
I think she almost was like above it. She almost was like, I'm not doing this with these like wackos. Like she's like, it's just like so not her scene.
No, it's shocking she went on the show, to be honest. But
I know.
I agree. But I think it's, and she did not give this on the show. This is completely based off of her Instagram aesthetic. I would assume she thinks she's better than a lot of the girls at the show.
Definitely. I completely agree. But that's what I'm saying. It's like why she didn't participate. She's like, I'm not doing this shit. So
yeah,
I don't know. The people that I know that also follow her are also very much like private school people.
Just not what we got on from her from the show. We got like flashes of it, but because there's only flashes, I couldn't really piece it together. I'm like, who is this? Also, I think her going on this show is so weird.
It's surprising. I agree.
Yeah, so I think that was another layer of it where I was just like, who is she? And then after seeing her Instagram, I'm like, okay, I think I'm not surprised. Like, she's not like a mystery to me at all anymore. The biggest mystery is why she went on the show. And another big mystery to me is I'm like, there's just no way you like Zach.
No, there's none. I think she just must want to be famous. I'm just like, what does she do? Like, there's nothing here that indicates she has like a real
What did her bio
life.
say?
Let's pull it up right now. I really would like to get her take on what happened. So I hope she gets to speak. I bet she will.
Absolutely should get a chance to be like, it's really weird you told me you couldn't have sex and then had sex the next day.
It says that she's a marketing consultant freelance since June 2022. So I'm going to take that to mean not working.
Yeah.
And she does have a lot of travel since June 22, including to Miami, Vegas, Paris. She's just like doing her thing. So,
I mean, maybe she doesn't have to work.
Yeah, she probably doesn't. I mean, if you...
She could be a trust funder.
Yeah, or like who even knows? Like, yeah, if you're not working, I have to assume you have other income sources. I really hope Gabby dubs Zach. Like, that's like my hope. And like, I like Katie. I guess like if she likes Zach, be happy. But my hope for the finale is that Gabby's just like, no, I can't do this. You're out. You're a piece. You betrayed me. The way that she said he betrayed her, like, seems like she really deeply feels it, but is like hesitant to say it for whatever reason.
I don't think she's going to leave, but I do think that she's questioning it.
She should.
And I'm sure she's questioning everything. So it's hard for her to make like a real decision on it. But I don't think she leaves.
He stinks. I wonder how people will think about him overall in this season. I can't believe only 1 week to go. Went by fast.
Overall, this season, like, he's been fine to me. Boring, sure. Like, I think the women made this season more than he did.
Yeah, for sure.
But this episode, it all went down the drain.
Are you surprised that Gabby's not the Bachelorette based on this episode? I wonder why she's not. I wonder if maybe she didn't want to do it. I can see not wanting to after this experience. Not that Charity wasn't like their first pick, but just based on like how they, and I'm taking nothing away from Charity, but just based on how they usually like follow up narratives. If someone gets like clearly screwed over on the show, they often end up as the Bachelorette. Like that's what happened with both Gabby and Rachel. I feel like that's what happened with Becca Kufrin.
The low-key Zach. Like his overnight date and how it ended was so weird that they were like, okay, we're going to give you another chance.
That's another reason why it's so weird that he fucked up so bad, because like his overnight date experience was like a trauma for him. It just doesn't make, he sucks. It doesn't make any sense.
No, it makes no sense. It makes no sense at all.
Oh man. Should we do a little Love Island check-in?
Yeah. We are getting, are we going to tell everyone what season we're rewatching?
Oh yes. That's a great point. We'll announce it again, because who knows if you got to this point of the podcast. We're going to rewatch season 3, people. I'm really excited.
2 things. First thing is, I went to the Nets game last night, and when I walked in, this woman was like, "What season are you guys rewatching?"
Nice.
I was like, "Oh my gosh."
Who was it?
Season 3. And
stranger?
She's like, oh my God. No. I know her.
Oh, okay.
But I mean, I didn't know that she listened or anything. And she's like, I love Love Island. Like, cool. I binged it during COVID. I'm so excited for you guys to rewatch it. And she was like, I voted for season 3, but I didn't know what you guys were going to pick.
It was 3 or 5. People were coming out of the woodwork for 3 and 5.
I told her that. I was like, 3 and 5 were like by far the most voted. The characters in season 3 are just so good. So I think that's why there's like more than one. There's like a handful of people that are really, really good. Also, Juliet, specifically based on your likes of Love Island, there is just some very strong relationships formed.
I heard there's some really good friendships that I'm going to be excited about. I've also been told it's the first season they did Casa Amor, so that's exciting.
I think that one of the friendships might be like the strongest one you see in all of Love Island, and every season. One of the friendships.
I love friendship. Put it on my tombstone.
It's also really fucking funny. It's such a funny season. I can't wait to rewatch it.
I can't wait. It's coming in May. Get excited, everybody.
The second thing I was going to tell you was my friend who just had a baby 2 months ago now, probably. She went out to eat with some of her girlfriends from high school. And she texted me and was like, my friends are freaking out right now that I know you. And I was like, what? And she was like, they all love Bachelor Party.
That's nice.
And I told them I'm texting you and they're asking me to text you things. And one of their friends took the phone and sent me like a paragraph about The Bachelor. I was like, this is clearly not my friend anymore because she does not talk like this. And she was like, sorry, I took her phone. And then my friend took a picture of them texting me on her phone.
Oh my God, that's so funny. Yep, that's my demo.
Yeah.
Can I see that again? Can you hold that up again?
Yeah.
The guy in the background looks familiar.
No, you know him?
Is that in New York?
No, it's in Austin, Texas.
Oh.
And then the girl texted and was like, I'm the one with the hands crossed over my heart. So thrilled to be in conversation with Callie.
Oh my God, that's so nice.
I know. I was like, I love our crew of people that listen to our podcast every week, I've got to say.
That's really
nice. All my
nice.
interactions in public with people that listen to our pod have been exceptional.
That's really
really
sweet.
Nice.
That guy in the background looked like someone I once hooked up with. That's why I was like, can I see that again?
Well, see if he's in Austin.
Wonder if he's in Austin. Yeah, I got to shoot him a text.
Oh, no, Houston. I'm sorry.
Houston. I've heard Houston's a really good food scene.
I think Texas in general has good food. So, but I don't know.
Houston's known for its Viet Cajun food. It's like a mix of Cajun and Vietnamese because there's a large Vietnamese population in Houston.
I did not know that. I was thinking more like, I love their barbecue. But okay.
We need to talk about the elephant in the room. Ron.
Oh my God. Ron.
I'll never get over
Game player.
I loved the what was the challenge? Something of sorts. I forget. Game of sorts or something like that. I loved it. It was great to see what everyone thought. I really like the couples who just like volunteer themselves for everything, like Casey and Rosie, even though I dislike Casey and Rosie. But that was a great challenge. It's a great way to like mix things up at the end when people are getting really comfortable. And I think that everyone in the house seems to hate Ron except for Kai. And Sanam is by extension.
But I also feel like Kai and Sanam just like generally just don't really want the drama.
Yeah, they're like happy.
I feel like they're more annoyed that like this is drama than like being like we love Ron so much.
Yeah.
Usually they do this challenge, which I'm pissed, or maybe they do it. I don't know. I haven't heard that they do it though, so I feel like they don't do it. But usually they do this challenge where they read tweets and guess who it's about. And so there'll be tweets that are like, blank, it'll be like, I can't believe that blank is still with blank when he was clearly a game player and said blah, 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 blah. And then they have to guess who the blanks are. And it'll be like, I can't believe that Lana is still with Ron after he's clearly a game player and said blah, 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 blah. But they're just like general public tweets, not like from someone. Or they'll be like, I can't believe that blank said he thinks Jesse's fake. And it'll be like, Casey?
They should do that though. I mean, I think this works well too, but
yeah, I mean, usually they do both. So I'm like, maybe they still do it, but yeah.
Interesting. Well, it's a great challenge. I don't hate Ron. Like, what's wrong with me?
Yeah. I liked Ron because of how he dealt with the Liv situation. He was getting back on my good side. Also, clearly everyone loves Lana. Like, she must be America's fucking sweetheart.
The United Kingdom sweetheart.
Yeah, or London sweetheart. Or Europe sweetheart, because these people are from everywhere. He is clear. Like, I agree with Sammy. It's a weird fucking comment, Ron. You can't tell me, like, as a viewer, blah, 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 and then do exactly what you say helps people win. It's fucking weird. Also, I'm not, like, again, I don't know if that's what you were doing, but it's weird that you said that's what you think the couples that win do, and then you went and did it.
Is that true, by the way?
No, I don't know. I guess that's like his strategy. I mean, maybe, but I've never like, usually the couple that wins does go through some sort of turmoil at some point. It's usually not like perfect all the way through. That never happens. Also, I really think they gaslit Rosie into thinking that he never said what he said. I rewound and rewatched it to make sure I heard what he said.
Did he use the word prioritize?
No.
I think that's why they were like, that's what they were pushing back on.
But also, we didn't see the whole thing,
That's
right?
true.
We're only seeing clips of it. But he is clearly throwing salt at Casey when I rewatched it. He's like, he does say the whole, like, you need to, if you're not going to spend time in here, it's not going to work on the outside. He said that. He did say you need to take a step back and see what happens. He did say that. He did say that he just likes to be, he really, really enjoys being a part of the Three Musketeers more than anything else. Like, he said all the things she was saying. He did not use the word prioritize from what we saw. But I just think it's weird that they made it seem like she made the entire thing up.
Yeah.
And then directly after that conversation, her and Lana talking, Lana's like, I do see like how you could think that. If I was Rosie, I'd be like, oh, you do? Because 2 seconds ago, you made me feel like I was fucking nuts for thinking that. You can say I interpreted it wrong, but over there, you told me that I made it up. So, like, let's get on the same page here.
I feel bad for Rosie because, like, they clearly just got in her head, but she also needs to, she's just kind of weak, unfortunately.
Doesn't really have a backbone. No. Unfortunately, it was 2 versus 1 and she lost.
Yeah.
I think if that were Sammy would be like, are you mad?
Yeah.
Are you mad? Like, she would have been like losing it back.
Are you mad, my love?
I also love that Jack and Tom are kind of like, if she is lying though, wouldn't you be mad, Ron?
Yeah.
You're kind of just like, I need to clean it up and da-da-da. And Jack was like, if someone just completely bold-faced lied about an entire conversation, I'd be pissed.
Yeah. I think I feel bad for Ron because everyone dislikes him, even though maybe he deserves it. Like, it's like if everyone dislikes you, it's probably for a reason. But I don't know. I just feel like I don't
even think they dislike him though.
I don't know. I think they do.
I feel like everyone's like, we know what's going on here. Like,
we see what you're doing.
A bit of strategy being played. That doesn't mean like we hate you. We just know what you're doing.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. It's just funny because like I think they probably would come after him harder if everyone didn't love Lana so much. But it's like because she's so beloved, they're just sort of, they don't want to like mess them up or whatever, which I guess is nice. I don't know.
Mess her up.
Yeah. I'm just sick of the Three Musketeers. Like I Will's like grating on me a little bit now. Like it's like a little bit too much. And I just, for whatever reason, I just like hate Casey. Just find him really annoying.
Yeah, I don't hate Casey.
He gives me the ick.
Also love Tom.
Tom and Sammy are wonderful. Like they're great. I love her. She's really, really sweet. And the whole thing. Did we talk since Claudia went home? I can't remember.
Yeah. Or I don't.
Might have been right before. I was glad she went.
We definitely texted.
Good for everyone. She needed to go.
Can I just say, her going off on Casey on her way out.
I think she has pre-existing insecurities that contributed to the situation.
I was just like, this is not a good thing for women.
No.
It made me feel like we look really fucking nuts.
He did feel really bad too.
We look nuts, and all the other women being like, yo, bad bitch. I'm like, no, she's just like, she looks bad, bitch. That's what it was.
She seems like everyone's fun. Like she's everyone's friend and like she's fun to be around, but probably not fun to date. She obviously is very attached very quickly.
Very. That's the understatement of the year. But no, it just seemed like all the girls liked her for the most part. There definitely was a little divide when Olivia was there.
I'm so glad Olivia's gone. Although I will say there's sort of definitely less drama without her, but I just fucking despise her. I think she's the most I've hated anyone in a really long time. And the more I think about it, the more I think she was just like really pulling strings. Like she was, I think, manipulating people a lot. And I feel like the fact that she was...
Talk about a game player.
I feel like the fact that she was an OG got her really far. And if she wasn't an OG, I feel like she would have been not as like... Yeah. And also just like not as well liked in the house. But she was able to like really like plant some deep roots of manipulation. Can't see.
Yeah. I kind of wish Zara was an OG.
Me too.
She brought good drama to the villa.
And I think she was like ultimately nicer.
Imagine Lana and Ron trying to go up against Zara. Zara would have been like, oh, no. This is exactly what you said. Yeah.
She probably would have recorded it or something. Can they use their phones for anything other than receiving texts and taking pictures?
No.
Interesting. Well, we're getting close to the end. Very excited. It's already over in the UK, so if you're not spoiled, be careful.
They filmed the reunion last night.
Yeah, I know. Obviously, I know. I am spoiled. I think we mentioned that last week. Whatever. Happens.
Yeah, both of us are.
I'm happy. I'm happy to be because I'm liking taking in all the content on social.
Oh my God. Yeah, the TikToks have been great. I need to send you more since you don't have direct access.
You're my concierge, Callie. All right. So we're going to rewatch season 3 in May. Next week's the finale. It's a live finale, I think. So timing's going to be a little bit weird, but we'll keep you posted on the Ringer Reality TV podcast Instagram. Thank you to our producer, Ashleigh Smith. And Zach, get your shit together.